Remember, mealtime is also not just about nutrition.
Just quickly, kids eating at daycare or babies eating at daycare or with the nanny or maybe when they're around other kids, but then not seeming to eat at home with the parent. Any tips there? Is it socialization, like watching other kids eat, or what's that about?
I can speak to this one. So there's a few things usually that are going on there. Daycare is almost always very scheduled and consistent.
Yeah.
Babies and toddlers alike thrive on that consistency and knowing what comes first, second, third, and next. They like having routines where they know exactly that they wash their hands, they come to the table, they sit down, they do this ritual, and then they move on. So almost always there is some component of it that is about that routine and that schedule. Daycares are almost always also leaning into activity and movement. So their children are moving around outside or inside, getting exercise, moving their bodies, and then coming to the table. So they have the chance to build up that natural hunger. Food is also usually put away or off the menu, off the table for a certain amount of time during the day, and then it's available. So there's a really nice amount of time to build up some natural hunger, where at home we may be a little bit more lax with our snacking or offering a breastfeed or a bottle feed in between that sort of steals from the hunger when it comes to getting to the table, which is totally fine in terms of how we run our days. I'm very practical. And if you need to, have a snack to get you from point A to B, that's fine. But recognizing that that snack might impact the next table meal is helpful for you to take some pressure off yourself and be like, oh, well, they're just not hungry because they had that snack, or we had that breastfeed right before we got in the car. So I would think about the routines and the habits that are being used at daycare. Socialization could totally be a part of it. Sometimes kids are very motivated to eat because they see all their peers doing it, and then not as motivated at home when it's just them. The last thing I like to think about is just whether or not your child likes being at the table at home, and if there's any distractions that might be pulling them away from the table at home. Like
Yeah.
there's the TV on, or the dog to play with, or a bunch of toys that are visually right there that they're ready to get to. So just being cognizant of your environment at home too, and how that might be impacting.
Remember, mealtime is also not just about nutrition, oral motor development, like physical motor skills, cognitive. It's also about connection and community, right? Even within your family or within your tribe of parents, it's a really big deal in terms of health. And we kind of overlook food as just food for nutrition, but it actually helps your child with all of those other things. Um, and that's one of the best investments you can make for them now and for them as adults.